This is a story of what convinced me of the existence of the paranormal, of the existence of beings that we are told simply do not exist. My name is Erin Gemini. I was born and raised in Hawaii. At the time of this story, I was living in a beautiful, old, very remote cabin up at 4,000 foot elevation at Kokei State Park, Kauai Island. The cabin was located 14 miles from the main highway and then another mile and a half down a 4x4 only dirt road. At the time of this encounter, I'd been living at the cabin for about 8 years. It belonged to my grandparents who purchased it in 1938. My grandmother said that back in 38, it was considered old as it was built about 1900 to act as a hunting lodge. Despite its age and isolation, I loved living there. It was and is achingly beautiful and quiet there. The only downside was the long daily commute I had to work. During the time that this story happened, I'd been about 3 miles away at another cabin house-sitting my friend's place. They were on an extended holiday, so I had been staying at their place watching their pets for about a month. I finally needed to go back to my cabin to pick up a few things, so I drove the 3 miles from the house-sitting cabin over to my cabin. I never worried about being away from my place, as all the windows were nailed shut and the door was padlocked on the outside. I pulled my car up to its regular place right below one of the cute old-fashioned glass-paned bedroom windows, and I shut the car off. I was sitting there thinking about what I needed to get out of the cabin. I happened to look up at the bedroom window, and what happened next changed my belief systems forever. The white curtain covering the window quickly pulled to one side. A glowing white face with huge dark eyes appeared out of the darkness. I sat there and stared in shock and disbelief at what I was seeing. This pale face was staring back at me, unmoving with no expression. Although it was so white, it was definitely not a mask. And this was definitely not a person. And then, as quickly as it appeared in the window, it was gone, leaving me to watch only the curtain slowly sway back and forth until it stopped. Once the curtain quit moving, I started to process what just happened. My next thought was, oh my God, what in the world was that? I was terrified, possibly even more so than I may have been in my life. I wasted no time. I put my car in reverse and actually backed my car all the way out of the valley. I only stopped when I reached the main road. I was thinking, there's no way that a person could be in my cabin, as the door is padlocked on the outside and all the windows are nailed shut on the inside. I drove straight to the cabin I was house-sitting. I called my closest neighbor and asked if he could go to my cabin and check it out to see if someone had broken in. He went over there and he checked all the windows and all the doors, and he called me back and he let me know that there was no sign of anyone there and there was no sign of any break-in. I was completely baffled as to what I saw that day. If it was a person, then it was someone wearing some type of white mask or white face paint. The eyes were dark and huge. The face was wide and tapered almost down to a pointed chin. The face reminds me a lot of the classic green alien, except for its color. I actually did not know then, nor do I now know, anyone who would or could pull off a prank to this magnitude. This was also long before the days of YouTube and elaborate pranks on people. There's just something that people know, especially when they see it in real time, that there's something off or not quite right about an encounter or situation. It was literally weeks before I went back to my cabin again. I never saw that being after that, and thank goodness. I am a changed person now. I truly believe that despite all of our advances in technology and space, there are still some things that we don't understand, and some things that may always be out there, but that we may not be able to see.